guest starred on that show. So the fourth season, I got called to do the part, and of course I played a bad guy. I never get to play the tennis pro or the good guy. Always someone killing someone. Anyway, so we went to Miami, and we were filming it, and I think my brother and Don were friends, but it didn't matter. He didn't pay attention to me anyway. So I went on there, but it was actually one of Stanley Tucci's early roles. And I thought he was a terrific actor. I said, this guy's, because he's not really a tough guy at all. As you can see, he has like cooking shows. He's, kind of artsy fartsy, but he pulled it off great. He was a fantastic actor. Everyone else was great. Philip, Don was a little, at that point he was dating Barbara Streisand. He was like too cool for school, So we were just like the actors, but everyone else on the show was great. And Don was good, very professional. And the funny thing is, at the hotel we were staying at was the hotel. Then it was a condo where my mother lived. And right next door, talk about gangsters at the Seacoast Towers, lived Meyer Lansky.
Okay.
When I was a kid, the most famous gangster of all. And he lived right next door. And I remember it was so funny going into this hotel. They changed the name from to the Alexander. And so, but doing the show was great. I mean, it was the cast and crew had been together 4 years. And I think I just done, it was what year? 86?
So
What?
it was released on April the 1st, 1988.
88. So April. Okay. So I think I did it in 87. And I think I just done Barfly. I'd done Barfly with Mickey Rourke, I think, at that point. And I was just flabbergasted to be on the show, and it was just such a well-oiled machine. They've been together a long time, almost 4 years. So to get on a top show like that was really a feather in the cap because they're not easy to get on, believe me, because every actor in the world wants to be on a hit TV show. It'd be like if you were on Tulsa King now. It's like just like a huge show. But I had a great experience. Got to wear cool clothes, kill people. And also there was another actor in it. I forget his name. He played the bad guy too. Oh, I forget what his name was.
Was it
But
Antonio Coroni?
what was his name?
Antonio Coroni, was it?
No, he didn't have an Italian name. He wasn't a regular. He was a guest star too. And he was really good. I think we killed him. We hung him up on I think I hung him on the forklift truck.
Forklift, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And but Don was great. Don was made to play that role. He was actually I read for that role before the show was ever made as
Wow.
some Sonny Crockett. Yeah, of course I read for it. But at the end of the day, he was born to play that role. I mean, he had the right looks, the right hair, the whole thing. And Don's a really good actor, so he did a great job. They all did a good job. I know everyone on the show, Talbott and all those guys, they're all really good people. But it was fun for me because, right now I've done 91 movies, and I think I've probably played four decent human beings out of 91. I mean, but actually I like playing the bad guy because the bad guy, the good guy's the good guy, but the bad guy you can sympathize with him sometimes. He can be cruel, he can be funny. There's a lot of more dynamics to the bad guy, like Lee Marvin, people like that, Charles Bronson. It's just there's something a little more, I guess, say liberating playing the bad guy because you don't always have to be the good guy. You have moments you can be a good guy, and then you're a bad guy. But the show was shot in Miami. I mean, it put Miami on the map. Like before that, only thing going on in Miami was the Miami Dolphins. That's it. And it was kind of good to be back in Florida because I lived there off and on as a younger guy, and it was really fun to be there. But the chemistry, the weird thing, here's the show. Philip, in the beginning, he was the one that they were toting as the star of the show, not Don. He was the one, great looking black guy, light skinned, black, green eyes, very handsome, good, really good guy. but he was going to be the star, not Sonny Crockett. And it kind of turned around sideways. And I think there was a little tension because of that, but they were very professional about it. But I think it like if you were hired to be the star of the movie and then all of a sudden you become like the second banana, not quite as big, but you're still one of the stars, but not what you intended to be. So,
And Frank, your episode had contained very powerful scenes, and one of the main cast members that was based around was Sandra Santiago, who played Detective Gina Calabrese.
yes.
And she was one of the main figures. I know we talk about Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas, but this episode really centered around her, in fairness, in terms of
Yes, it did.
understanding with Stanley Tucci, and but she also portrayed graphic scenes of maybe domestic violence towards women in terms of
Oh,
really
yeah.
intricate sort of scenes, which was very controversial for the time as well. That such scenes would be aired on TV, the whole sort of subject in terms of that, where a woman would be
Yes.
violated, and she did that not once but twice on Miami Vice.
Oh, she was very good. Yes, she was. Again, more attention should have been put to her because she was a wonderful actress and a really lovely person. Very very nice gal. And matter of fact, I just wanted to correct you. I'm the younger brother.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
the poorer younger brother. He's the older, richer brother. Yeah, but yeah, I was hoping to get some of my music in it, but that was another thing that was very hard to get in.
Hmm.
I mean, look who they had at that point: Phil Collins, Glenn Fry. I mean, they were at that point they were top of the hill. I mean, Phil Collins owned the '80s as far as music, so I that kind of didn't go anywhere, but that's okay. That's all right. It was just great being a part of something historical. Historical show. I mean, it's one of the all-time great TV series. I don't know exactly how long it ran, but it ran for a while, didn't it? Five
Yeah,
years, 6 years?
four seasons in total, but there was like 20 episodes per season, so that'll tell
Yeah.
you the extent of the show in terms. And we all know filming an episode was probably back then was probably a week or 2 weeks compared to what they do now.
Was it big in Ireland?
Oh, yes, very much so. When you talk about the 80s and 90s, you probably had the A Team, Starsky and Hutch, Dukes of Hazzard. Then you had Texas Walker Ranger in terms that they were the sort of action sort of TV series,
LA,
MacGyver, sort of Night
Hill
Rider.
Street Blues, Beretta,
Yeah. Even
Columbo.
before that, then you're going back to the Rockford Files and
Oh
Jim
yeah.
Rockford and sort of stuff like that, which is
Columbo was huge here, and Kojak was huge here.
oh, Kojak, massive. Yeah, Telly Savalas, the
Yeah,
legend.
but the '80s, yeah, Miami Vice was really big. There was what was the one the police not Hill Street Blues, the other one, LA, I forget what it was called, but it was another cop show, but it was very big. And Homicide. There was a lot of good shows in the '80s, but unfortunately, nowadays, this is somewhat of a ghost town. They don't shoot anything in here anymore. It's very sad. I remember when I moved here many, 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 many years ago, they were shooting probably 40 TV series at a time. And then there must have been 20 pilots going on. I mean, so it was a very busy, busy town then, but that's changed. Who knows? Because of maybe unions, team, I don't know. But everything's shot out of town. My brother's show, Tulsa King, is shot not in Tulsa, but in Georgia. And all the other shows, they're just shot in different places, which is tough for the actors nowadays because they don't want to pay to fly actors in. They might as well hire local instead.
And is that something you hold to high regard that you can say to Sylvester? Well, Frank has appeared in Miami Vice in terms of that. That's one I
Well,
have.
I don't think it compared to his career, it doesn't really move the needle that much. But I mean, I've been involved in some great movies: Tombstone, Barfly, Hudson Hawk, Fred Claus. So I had some good ones in there, But it's a very tough business. It's a business that you have to have a thick skin or you're not going to cut it because most of the time you're going to get rejected. You're not going to get the part.
And Frank, did you enjoy playing those mafiosa type characters that you were those henchmen and those sort of, I say those Italian sort of Sicilian sort
Loved
of
it.
hitman sort of thing? Was that
Uh,
were you Godfather's Goodfellas sort of fan growing up in terms of that? The Godfather.
yeah, I love playing those parts because usually when I did it, most of my friends in town that are Italian were in the movie show, so we'd have a good time, you know. It was quite a bit of fun. Acted with a lot of really good actors. And yeah, but like I was saying before, playing like I'm nothing like a mafioso in real life, but it's playtime. It's like when you were a little kid playing pretend, cowboy and Indians or army soldiers and things of the such. So it was, I was in Ireland, in the 90s promoting my record, but I was in Belfast. I wasn't in Dublin. I was doing a show called Kelly and Company.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I had a great time. I got introduced to Guinness. I didn't know what it was.
I
And it's
bet
been
you know
with
what
me
it
ever
is now.
since, lad. Oh yeah.
And Frank, before I let you go, if you could summarize your memories of Miami Vice and the whole experience on set, or something, a unique or funny story that is in between takes or shoots that made you laugh to even to this day, or something like that for the final minute or two that is unique to yourself.
Well, working at the scene with Don putting my head on the oven, on the stove, we had to really choreograph that because that was a real stove, We had to be, I said, Don, please, I'm just starting out. Don't burn the side of my face off. But he was very professional. That was a funny scene. Hanging, God, what was the guy's name? He was a guest star on the show. He went on to do a lot of good stuff. The one we hung with the forklift truck. Now
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. When you do scenes like that, you're laughing the whole time because it's like ridiculous. You're sitting there hanging out with the guy, and next thing you know, he's hanging from a forklift truck, or you're sitting there shooting the bull with Don Johnson. Next time scene, he's putting your head on an oven, getting you to talk, and and usually those type scenes make you crack up the most when you're doing it, because it's outrageous.
Frank Stallone, thanks for joining us this evening to share your memories of Miami Vice. You appeared on season 4, episode 19, which aired on April the 1st, 1988, playing the character Billy alongside other guest stars such as Stanley Tucci. As we know, Miami Vice, an all-star TV series featuring Don Johnson, Philip Michael Thomas, Sandra Santiago, Michael Talbott, and Olivia Brown. From me, Jim Conlan, to you, Frank Stallone, the younger brother of Sylvester Stallone. Stay safe, take care, and God bless, sir.
May the wind be at your back, son.
Cheers.
God bless.